Hello, guys.
Morning, everyone.
Joe here.
Kevin.
So this is the end of binge week for Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yeah, episode 4 this week of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, a criminally under-recognized show among people.
I don't know. I don't know if that's because of it's on Prime. I feel like most people would have Prime because it's not just a streaming service, obviously.
Right. I think it was a hit for Prime for sure. Obviously, it went on many seasons, but I don't know personally. I don't know that many people who talk about this show or have watched this show. Right?
I really don't. I mean, the few folks that I've mentioned we're doing this to have been like, "Oh, great show," and that's the extent of it.
Right.
They don't really want to go into details. Like
Sure.
I've seen some of it, you know.
Yeah.
But this is not talked about the way that we talk about, Mad Men or Succession. Like those are the big hot shows out right now.
Right, and it should be. We've got great cameos.
Fantastic cameos.
There's a number of things we don't need to go back through all the technical achievements of the mastery of the show.
Praises every episode.
Right. And last episode we threw in a couple of stars, didn't we?
Yeah, we got
the Catskills.
Zachary Levi showed up.
Yeah.
And Zachary Levi, he's a hot commodity.
He is, and I think he probably was when this was going on. I think this is probably at the end of Chuck.
This is post Shazam, I think.
Yeah,
because that was 2018.
Yeah, right around there. Anyway,
so it's probably the same year as Shazam. Then, because I think the show started in 2017,
something like that. So, it's not an old show. It just ended. Do you ever watch Chuck?
No,
I watched the pilot, and this is interesting. Family Video, R.I.P. in our area at least.
Gone.
One time I was in there about the time Chuck was, probably around 2009-ish or so, 10, and they had a free DVD you could check out. And it was 3 pilots from 3 TV shows on 3 different networks that I'm sure, I don't know, it was obviously a marketing thing,
sure.
Right? And the 3 shows on it were Chuck, Damian Lewis cop show called Life.
I literally had a conversation about that the other day. That's crazy.
And the Game of Thrones pilot.
Wow.
3 totally different networks, and it was just a free DVD. I watched all 3 pilots, and I was like, I think all 3 of these shows are going to be hits.
That's so crazy that Life comes up again this week. I was talking about Damian Lewis to somebody.
I love Damian Lewis. But
it's weird.
I mean, obviously, Chuck and Game of Thrones ended up being mega hits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Life was. I think it was only on for a couple seasons.
That's one where he was a cop who got out of prison.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. And by the way, I miss video stores a lot.
I freaking do too, man. So they still have the bones of it, obviously.
Right.
But
I drive by them in town and see them, yeah.
And one's connected to a pizza place, and every time I drive by, I get a little excited, then I look, and I'm like, oh, it's empty.
I know.
It's like an overlook in there.
It's really sad that, I miss being able to go in and, look around at titles and read boxes and, critic recommendations and stuff.
Not even just for movies, but for TV shows.
Absolutely. It's just not the same with streaming services anymore that they'll look through. I saw a lot of really good movies by virtue of picking up the box, seeing the cast and the directors of movies I'd never heard of, that you just can't really do it as easily on streaming.
In some ways, I think it was easier to pick what you wanted to watch that way.
Yeah, because now
the streaming services like, I could watch that, I could watch that, I could watch this, and you just kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Absolutely. In streaming services, you have to kind of know what you're looking for before you go looking for the large part.
And maybe that's kind of why the show, I mean, it's popular, it did well, but maybe that's why the show doesn't have the recognition it has, because it just kind of looks like another show on Prime, And
that's the other thing, is I think it's really easy for quality shows to get lost now that we have 500 streaming services,
Because we don't have the box to look at. We don't have a lot of descriptions. It's a picture and then a brief synopsis usually.
Right. It was easy for a show to find a footing when we had 3 networks.
Yeah.
And then 4. And then cable came into the mix. Mm-hmm. And now it's a streaming service where you have to actually seek out the content yourself rather than the content getting presented to you.
And I don't know if it is just based off of the promos for the show or if it's just the thumbnails people are getting turned off by, but I mean, I'm certainly guilty of that. I never would have watched this show unless it was suggested by somebody, and I'm glad that we did. And you always find happy surprises that way,
I think the title is clunky.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It almost sounds like a sorcery show, like a magic show, And I'm like, that doesn't sound like my kind of thing.
That kind of crossed my mind. I was like,
what is it? Yeah, the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Just it doesn't do justice to what the show is. I don't feel like it's not a bad title, but I don't feel like it really tells you what you're going to see.
And I think it has a stigma. People will look at the title and be like, "Oh, it's a girly,
sure, of course,
whatever that means."
Whatever that's worth, right?
And that's not the show. It's a female-centric driven show, but at the same
and a great
time,
one, yeah, absolutely.
It's so accessible. It's fantastic, And shout out to Prime for having 2 of the greatest shows we've watched that are both female-centric.
Fleabag and this, absolutely,
fantastic shows.
Both completely underrated shows.
And I think that's all we really have as far as I know is TV shows. There's another show on Prime that's great, guys. Let us know because
Well, Jack Ryan is a big one that's on there. I haven't watched it.
I watched the Reacher show.
The Reacher show, I did not watch.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
It was entertaining.
I've seen the Tom Cruise movies. I know what it's about. Right. I don't dislike the movies because Tom Cruise can kind of carry almost anything except the Mummy.
I'll watch him on anything. Yep, except
right.
the Mummy. Yeah.
We do want to welcome a couple new Patreon subscribers, guys. So George Faubert, Adverb, and Taylor, welcome, guys. Thanks for being here with us.
We appreciate you guys. You don't even know.
Absolutely.
If you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel, guys.
Hello.
As we said earlier, we are 4 episodes ahead now. So while you're here, if you mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
Yeah, if you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we're watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. And if you want to see the next, if you're on YouTube with us, you want to see the next 4 at least Marvelous Mrs. Maisel episodes, you could jump on over our Patreon page and sync and watch along with us right now.
Yeah.
You will need to bring your own device or your own streaming service to watch along with. We, of course, are watching on Prime.
It keeps saying there's violence in it, but this is not a violent show. You know what I mean?
Did it say on the last one?
Yeah.
What would have been violent on the last one?
Beats me.
Yeah. I think Joel punching the heckler one time is the only violence we've seen on the show.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
What are you doing? Where are you going?
I'm getting.
Look how many people they have helping them because they're so difficult.
Yeah.
Moish and Shirley Maisel have arrived. I repeat, they have arrived.
So the reputation precedes them.
I wonder if this is going to ruin Abe's day because he didn't look happy about that.
No, right.
Get off the phone.
That will be another 30 cents, please.
Thank God for cell phones.
Seriously.
Kind of linked now, aren't we?
No.
Crisscross, crisscross.
Go away.
You're right.
Like strangers on a train there.
Yeah, kind of.
Simon says, touch your nose, touch your toes. Hot. I didn't say Simon says.
Some of these people are actually upset they were out in a game of Simon Says.
This isn't for you.
Simon
This is
says
grown-up
straight.
time.
This is grown-up time. Okay.
Oh, this is embarrassing. Yeah.
They're either bald or married or that.
Simon says, shimmy.
He's giant.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Simon says, spin like a dreidel.
I would not want to play Simon Says.
I was about to exact say, like, call me old, but I would not want to play Simon Says on
I'm
my
out.
vacation. Yeah.
You seem grumpy. I just want to land one of these gigs.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Kind of reminds me of the kitchen in The Shining.
Yeah, kind of. You like ice cream, Doc?
My badminton team made the semifinals and the tournaments in 25 minutes.
Oh my God.
I have to do my pregame stretches, otherwise I'll
Go.
never...
I'd be so mad that somebody stole those fries out the window and left there with a plate of ketchup.
Yeah,
Working at a restaurant for so long, I'd be like, who did this?
I would too.
There's only one Revlon counter at B. Altman.
I will see you at 4.
3.
3.
That's what brings her back?
Yeah.
That's what brings her back.
I'll call him and tell him you'll meet him in the driveway. May I have the phone?
This is, okay. I don't know if they're setting up Benjamin and Miriam at all, though. You know, it's weird.
I feel like they are.
Out. Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I know her and Joel are, like, not together, but at the same time, you're kind of hoping for that, you know?
Let's make sure this is regulation length.
Abe doesn't have much of a chill factor, does he?
Nah.
And throw the ball toward the pins. Wow, you're a natural.
God.
I've seen people do that before the Lions.
Oh,
Just
for
skips
sure.
away.
Yeah. They bounce it too hard and it just jumps. Yeah.
Bowl next to somebody that's, like, mad at you for going at the same time.
Yes, actually.
It's like, I'm sorry. It's like, late game!
Right, seriously. It's late game, Smokey.
Great shot.
Yeah.
Establishing the United Arab League.
That's actually him driving the car, too. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Definitely a drone shot there, right? Or maybe a car on the other side.
Yeah,
of the rig.
it's a car, probably. The cranes are insane.
Hawaii is now a state. A few Jewish women are campaigning to have it moved to an area off the coast of Long Island because that's a long flight.
I kind of just want to know what this guy's deal is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's definitely guarded.
Yeah, like, who hurt this guy? You know what I mean?
We're looking for a replacement. I'll get you the number.
Excuse me, what are you...
Wandra.
Oh, all right, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
It is.
How's she going to get back? He's not going back, right?
That's a really good question, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then, I guess until next year.
We are definitely not done with him.
No.
Yeah, he's asking her out.
So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, the Delphi Theater?
7:30, I'm coming from work.
Okay.
Okay.
This is just gonna. It's making me upset for Susie.
Right. Oh, yeah, because Susie's working her tail off in the Catskills right now.
Miriam doesn't care.
She doesn't, does she?
No.
Very egocentric.
They have got to have this conversation.
Right.
Of what do you want to do?
Right.
Do you want to do this?
And can you be considerate of me a little bit?
She's asked her.
Yeah.
So many times.
Right.
Wait till you throw your program in the trash.
My God. My God. We're leaving.
Well, don't be a jerk about it.
Oh, they're going to see Lenny. What if this isn't his thing at all, and that's the problem? Stand up.
Yeah, he doesn't seem. I don't know. He's hard to peg, isn't he?
Yes.
You're not gonna believe me. You're gonna think I've been drinking. All right, who's here? Christ and Moses.
I think Bruce took a lot of shots at the Pope, didn't he?
He did. I like that we're still seeing him, too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's like a regular almost.
Yeah. Wow.
Lawyer gives me thumbs up.
He's enjoying it. He's
So,
enjoying it.
right.
Maybe he does like this kind of stuff. He says he likes someone who's weird.
Yeah. If he liked her doing it, that might be a big deal.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Benjamin. This table is on me. Buy her a soda and have her home by 10.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Lenny's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know what his personal life really was in
Right.
real life, but he's a good guy.
On this show, he's great, right?
I'm a comedian.
You're,
I'm a stand-up. I do comedy. I go to clubs at night and tell jokes.
like Lenny Bruce.
Like Lenny Bruce.
Why'd you choose to tell him like this, but not her family
Maybe
yet?
she does like him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell my family soon. After vacation.
I doubt that.
I don't think she tells him at all. I think she gets caught.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
You know what? If he has an open mind about the comedy, then he might be a great guy for her.
I love Joel, but hey,
that's a blind spot for Joel. Yeah, absolutely.
Made your bed, Joel.
I looked all over this nightmare place trying to find you.
I went to bingo and bunny hop and calling your face nowhere.
It was rude of her not to tell her.
It was very
insensitive.
rude.
Yeah,
it was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Be there.
I just said I'll be there.
Because if you're not there,
In my travels today, I found a lot of places I could hide your body with minimal digging.
It
was.
Look. We can talk about it at the end of the episode because it was bothering me when she was.
It was bothering me too.
It was hard to focus. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Susie.
You're right. She's up there trying to get you a job.
You know, I love that she can be spontaneous.
Right.
And it works, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. It's hard to root for her when you want her to do well, but she won't get out of her own way.
Right. For sure.
I'm so happy I could hug you.
Astrid, I won't. I promise.
Yeah. Please don't.
I love this actress so much. She's
Right.
so different than Willa on
Oh,
Succession.
for sure. Yeah.
She's got great range, and she's also just a delight.
She is.
I love her brother and his wife.
Make sure you have everything.
I have
Are they going to the Concord?
I would love that.
Me too. We got to get this cat out of the bag. I'm so happy.
Yeah, that they've turned everything
I'm
around.
so happy.
Yeah, absolutely. They both deserve to be very happy.
At the same time, I want them to find about Miriam too. Like, I
do too.
We've drawn it out for a while,
Right, and the longer they go without knowing, the worse it's going to be.
It's gonna be horrible.
Right.
You're my son. I want you to be happy.
I know.
He's not in an emotional position to start dating yet. Give the guy a break.
He also turned down Midge.
Right.
That surely tells me you're going to be buried in Israel. Any idea when?
I would be tired of that too.
It'd just be so much.
Yeah.
Especially after the phone thing earlier. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, boys.
Okay. Oh, and if your parents ask,
I never saw you.
I love how much these two are getting along. You did not see it coming. Yeah,
So far,
they
yeah.
have. Yeah.
Well, once you see a man in his romper, kind of.
Right.
And this boy, he was my papa.
Whoa!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Go to a set. Go to a prepared set.
Mothers and daughters and fathers. And, it's weird with daughters and fathers, isn't it? Isn't it weird?
I did not see that coming at all.
Is she gonna bomb hard now, dude? Oh my god!
It's free to guys I want it to be free to.
She's killing it inadvertently.
I really have to go.
I can't believe she got through that.
I can't either. I thought it was gonna go way downhill there.
I will be here all week trying to figure out if I just had some sort of stroke. I'm Miss Maisel. Thank you. Good night.
Well, you know what? She killed it, and the cat is out of the frickin' bag.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is insane.
I can't believe this.
I can't either.
This is insane.
Susie, go away.
He's not going to say anything, is he?
No. He's kicking her out of the Catskills.
Think so?
Yeah. Susie's with him.
Oh, pleasure, yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Before we get into it, and it is worth getting into, what a great reveal. You don't see where he's going. You don't even consider it. She starts the set, and you don't know he's here until she says it, saying her father, and she freezes, and then we get to see him. And that caught me so off guard.
He was my papa. You know,
yeah.
That was... Oh my god! Also, what a great misdirect too, because we saw them getting ready. We're like, "Are they going to the concert?"
Completely, like, no,
nah. And then it literally cuts to Abe. You're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I didn't even put it together because, like, okay, it was smart, right? Because we're safe. They're all going to some Polynesian party thing.
Yeah,
and it didn't even occur to me that Abe wasn't going; he was going somewhere else. That was a possibility. That is great writing.
It's kind of amazing it didn't occur to her that they would not be. I guess she knows their routine. Like they have a set routine.
Right.
But Abe kind of, you know.
Well, I'm sure they're all like, "Hey, we're going to this thing tonight,"
Sure.
and she felt safe.
Yeah. I mean, but also there's so many people there.
Yeah.
They know everybody. She didn't think about. I guess maybe she doesn't care.
Well, no, she said it earlier. You know, she told Susie's like, I can't do a show here. Everybody knows everybody. And she's like, there's hundreds of clubs up here.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. And she probably normally would have been. There was probably nobody else there but Abe, unfortunately, that knew her. Simply because, you know, you go to the movies. What are the odds you actually see somebody you know, even in a town this size?
Sure.
Almost nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But not nothing. I mean, there's still always a small chance.
Somebody who knows somebody.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you're right. There's a bit of a risk, but when you say it's not going to be huge, I can do this thing.
Yeah.
And boy, was she wrong tonight.
What a mic drop moment. Oh my
yeah.
God. So I'm so glad this happened because
Me too.
At the same time, we talked about the whole episode
about how we want the parents just tell them. Right, yeah.
We're like beating the same drum over and over again. Well, now Abe knows, and now he's got quite the conundrum. Does he hold this back from Rose? Because Rose is going to have questions. Where'd you go? Where have you been?
He can't hold it back from her because the last time he did, it almost ended their marriage.
Yeah, he's got to tell her.
He's got to tell her. He's got to say, Midge, you're telling her this week or I am. You know what I mean?
I think that's exactly what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Either you're telling her or I am.
Right. She's got to know. Yeah, that was a...
And I think him taking her back to New York is him buying himself some time because everybody thinks she's back in New York.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't end what she's doing. It just puts her in a different place doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tense. And it was so great that the set was a blue set, for one, so she had to keep going there. And two, she couldn't stop talking about her family. As soon as she saw her dad there, that's all that was in her head was just ripping her parents. That was her default setting, was like, oh my God, my dad's here, so I'm going to just talk about that. And it turns into a roast of her parents.
Yeah, truly did.
And I don't know how long it went, but they did a slow fade to the end of it, which meant I think that was a long set.
Yeah, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, because we haven't done that before, right? Her sets have all been a tight 10, and even though they've tightened them and cut it shorter,
she's kind of the headliner.
There's no fade cut. The fade cut means passage of time, right?
Yeah.
That might have been an hour-long show that just did. Yeah.
Well, she's the 12 o'clock, so yeah, she's kind of the headliner.
Right, yeah.
And so, man, her biggest show, in many ways, that was her biggest and best show, but at the same time, it could completely derail this train.
Right, and we called it, right? We said, I don't think she's going to tell him. I think she's going to get caught somehow.
I love that it's Abe.
Oh, me
but
too.
At the same time, I don't know. I feel like Rose is somehow enlightened.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're still them.
And I think that her and Rose and Midge have gotten closer since Paris.
Sure.
That I feel like maybe she can take it a little better.
Well, she already lied to her about what she's doing.
Right.
I'm saying fur trapper and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But at the same time, I think Rose wouldn't be as upset as she just had the honesty.
Sure.
Tell me what you're doing, please. You know, if I'm mad at it, if I don't like it, I don't like it. But just tell me what you're doing.
Well, here's my question then. Rose is going to find out. I have every confidence that this isn't a thing they're going to keep from her long term because Abe's not going to go through that crap again.
If he does, I'd be so surprised.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, in Rose's reaction, do you think she will be happier or more upset than when she just thought her daughter was dating around in a salacious way, if you know what I mean? Do you think it's worse that she's a comedian, or do you think it's better? Oh wait, my daughter's not, hooking up with a bunch of guys. She's doing stand-up comedy.
Well, for the time, I mean, finding out your daughter is on stage talking about the things she was talking about.
That's the thing. The issue is the subjects, right?
It kind of. I think back then that would get looped in the same category as being salacious, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know.
The thing is we know she doesn't quit, right? Or the show would be done.
5 seasons. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. She doesn't quit. So even if Abe says you're not doing that anymore, now she's in a position where he has to say, actually, I am. Or she keeps lying, which I don't think she can get away with now, sneaking out every night. Or she has to say, I love you, Mom, I love you, Dad, but this is a thing I'm going to do, and I need your support. Yeah, she may move out.
She's got the doctor boyfriend now.
She's got the doctor boyfriend. She may end up living in a hovel with Susie,
With 2 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be kind of fun.
I don't think she moves out because I don't think there's any way that they would kick the grandkids out.
No.
No,
they wouldn't do that, right? They might kick her out, but keep the grandkids.
She'd end up roommates with Joel or something like that.
Oh my god, in this little factory.
Right, yeah.
Leave it to us to do binge week and have it end on the most cliffhanger episode.
This is like, we've had cliffhanger episodes of this show for sure. Like the reveal of Mrs. X at the Gaslight record and stuff. We've had them, but you're right. This is the big one.
And of course, they're not going to have Abe react. Like we don't know what he's thinking right now. Because obviously cliffhanger,
And I don't feel like he wants to talk about it because Abe doesn't like to talk about these things. He didn't talk about when he found out about the arrests.
I totally forgot that he knows that. I completely forgot about that.
In fact, come to think of it, that's a thing that he still knows that he's never told Rose.
Never told anybody.
Rose doesn't know about that.
He hasn't brought it up to her.
Right.
I'm assuming it's going to come. It's going to be looped into the conversation here pretty soon.
Right. Fortunately, he was the only one that knows that he knows, so that's something he could just kind of never speak of.
It's weird, though, that they showed that he knows about it, but they haven't addressed it yet. So maybe they're playing the long game with that. Obviously, they are. That was season 1.
Right. I just feel like it's a thing of like it's a defense mechanism for Abe, and like I just found out something that I find horrifying, so I'm not going to address it. And I think that's happening here a little bit, right? He just had to watch his daughter sit there and do this whole horrible stand-up set. I also don't know why he didn't get up and leave. And his answer was, I'm taking you home. Maybe there's not a conversation with it. They weren't talking in the car.
Look, maybe he's processing it. Maybe he enjoyed it more than he wants to let on. Maybe he's like, I get it.
I don't know. That's a tough call.
Look.
Abe's a stubborn guy.
Upset. This is the last episode of Binge Week. We couldn't have done this earlier.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait a week to see what the fallout is.
Come on, man. Don't do this to me.
Oh, man. What a great episode that was.
It was fantastic.
And we didn't even talk about Zach Levi and the fact that she's starting to date, potentially a boyfriend level dating here.
I like him.
I like him, too.
I like him.
He's open-minded. He's accepting of her. He likes the fact that she's weird. He's definitely into her.
I think we get to apply the Genslinger thing from New Girl to this.
Right.
Because Zach Levi, I don't know if he's on the show from now on.
I don't either.
I doubt it. He might be. This is a
post-Chuck, pre.
Well, if this is, I'm assuming the season's 2018. So we had Shazam come out in 2018.
Right.
I don't think he has anything else going on. Plus, when you're a movie star, you got to get momentum, right?
Sure.
And so him being a series regular on a very popular show,
and a show that only has 8 episodes a season,
exactly, he could easily do it.
Right. We've had a lot of shows like True Detective
came out this year, so he had a 5-year window between the first one and the second one. What else? He hasn't done anything else in the meantime, right?
It's not like Woody Harrelson and Matt McConaughey couldn't fit a season of True Detective in there.
Exactly. So if he is now on the show, okay, but at the same time, we said Genslinger earlier because if you guys are watching this on New Girl, they have a lot of guest boyfriends.
Guest boyfriend and girlfriends, which you expect to see for the whole run of the show.
Yeah, and Genslinger was her boyfriend.
Justin Long.
He stuck around for 4 episodes?
4 episodes. So we're like, let's measure all of the different boyfriends and girlfriends that come and go in Genslingers as in terms of these guest stars that come on to be boyfriend and girlfriend of the cast. 4 episodes.
So one
Genslinger is 4 episodes. That's all how long Justin Long lasted.
So is Zach Levi going to be a Genslinger
and make it 4 episodes, or is he going to do multiple Genslingers?
The show is cool because it doesn't have the opening credits, so you don't really know who's because on Mad Men it says guest starring.
Right.
This doesn't. We don't know if he's a guest star or not. We don't know if he's just going to be incorporated into the rest of the season.
Right. So we're at 2 right now. A Genslinger wouldn't surprise me. 4 episodes and Zach Levi's gone.
Or he finishes the rest of the season and then he's just gone.
Right.
Because I don't know. I feel like there's still plenty left on the table between Joel and Midge. Whether or not they have to go on their own personal relationships to get back to one another, I don't know. But adding him to the mix is definitely interesting.
It is. It's a great dynamic. He's obviously an incredibly charismatic and talented performer anyway.
Yeah.
It's like he adds a lot. He does.
And he likes the fact that she's a comedian. I
love that too.
That we had that reveal that she told him this episode that her dad found out.
Yeah, she's able to tell this guy she went on one date with about it, but she can't tell her dad. Which I get because it's a harder conversation with her dad. He's gonna care more.
Do you think she's more afraid of her dad or her mom?
Mom.
You think so?
No, she's always felt closer to her mom. But then again, as we saw with her going to Paris, Rose has a potential to really escalate things. Yeah,
I don't think Rose would run away from this though.
I don't either.
And also, I don't think Rose cares about what other people think as much as she does, as she used to.
As much as she used to, right? I don't either because I felt like Rose was the one person who was really Rose and Abe was handling the snickering and the intrigue with everybody with Joel and Midge there and being divorced or separated. Mm-hmm. Abe and Rose didn't seem to care at all.
Abe clapped
when we went up on stage and said, "It's none of your freaking business." Basically,
maybe that's an indicator where we're heading.
Yeah, we may be heading to healthier places with Rose and with Abe. Although I don't blame Abe for 1 second for being freaked out. Not just the fact that his daughter's performing, but the stuff coming out of her head. There's definitely stuff he's never heard from her.
Like what? Because he's not really a blue collar guy.
He's not.
He's got a sense of humor, but Jesus,
he does have a sense of humor. But he's also very old fashioned too.
Yeah,
he's an old fashioned guy.
Yeah,
he's there measuring the shuffleboard table.
But also the whole time he's there, you don't really get the sense that he's having a great time. The first Catskills episode, he was.
Yeah.
This episode,
once the Maisels showed up, it was less so.
I think I don't know. I don't think he might stay in New York as well.
Well, he wanted to get away. He ended up at that club precisely because he wanted to get away from the Maisels and what was going on with the Catskills at his resort.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Spring something. Yeah, starts with an S.
Yeah.
But this was a cliffhanger of an ending, wasn't it?
It was. And also to tie things back around, thank you guys again for not spoiling this. We thanked you in the first episode we did today about not spoiling Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Huge plot twist in that show, and you guys didn't say a peep about it.
The viewers who are watching along with this are wonderful because
thank you for your discretion.
On YouTube and Patreon, people have had the chance to really spoil things for us, and everyone's been so great and letting us kind of hit these moments like this. Like that was the most shocking moment on this show that I've had, I think. And we've had shocking moments, but this one hit me hard.
And every episode, we're like, when is this going to happen? And you guys could have ruined that. Thank you so much for not doing
sure.
that, because that was one heck of a mic drop moment. I think we were both stunned.
I was stunned.
We both looked at each other like, what?
Yeah, I almost came out of my skin.
I did too.
When I saw Abe sitting there, because she'd already started. She'd already made sex jokes. She'd already made dad jokes. And it was just like getting like the worst possible timing.
I couldn't do stand-up. One, I can't do stand-up at all, but two, I could not do it in front of my parents. That'd be insane.
Yeah, I think a lot of stand-up comedians think that's funnier. You know what I mean?
I guess, but
yeah, they're like, I'll get my mom and dad there, and I'll rip them a new one. Like I'll roast my own parents, whatever.
Well, roasting's one thing, but saying those things, it's like, oh my god, you're talking about sex in front of your parents. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you've seen Superbad, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Superbad. Super Troopers. That's what I meant. Super Troopers.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Farva. The old couple he yells, license registration, chicken effers.
Yeah.
Those are his parents.
No way.
Those are the actors' parents. He brought them on set so he could yell that in their faces.
That's hilarious.
He cast them in that role just so he could cuss out his own parents.
Well, when you're successful at what you do, I guess it's a different story.
I just think that, obviously for him and maybe for them, it just was funnier because he's able to do it without his parents.
That is hilarious.
Obviously, Midge is in a different mental state with her dad.
Certainly didn't expect it. That's for sure.
She rebounded so well, though. She stayed funny.
You know what? Kudos to not bombing in front of that whole room.
She didn't bomb. She didn't shut down. She didn't do what I probably would have done and just run off the stage in horror.
Yeah.
She stayed in and improvised a heck of a set.
She's not in a position to where she can lose any more time.
Right.
Or bomb in a room. She can't run off the stage at this point.
No.
She has no credibility. Well, she has credibility, but she doesn't have... She's gaining momentum, right? So she doesn't have a certain.
She doesn't have the bona fides. She's got people working against her too.
Yeah,
I mean, she's scratching and clawing to get herself into the career
spot there too. The guy said, "Come back."
Yeah, so. and apparently he's she got paid for the night. Right? He said, "I won't pay if she's not funny."
Yeah,
she gets paid.
Probably a decent sum too.
I'm assuming though that the potential of continuing on at that club is dead because Abe's taken her back to the city. But really, that's where she should be working, is New York City.
Yeah,
that's where it's at.
Take a bus, man.
Do whatever you have to do, but she should be working in New York City, trying to get her career going.
And she make connections out there too.
Absolutely. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully, it'll rush right by.
Yeah.